Hey, y'all, it is Jody of Forever Voice. I'm back. It's Wednesday, December 13th. Christmas is right around the corner, and my vacation is right around the corner. We'll be vacationing for a little bit. But before we go, I wanted to talk to you about control for the last time. So, this is our third week, control, and we'll be controlling energy. It is your choice to control your energy however you would like to, whether you believe it or not. You are in total control. So let's get started on that right now. Let's do that work, y'all. Let's go. Hey, fam. I just lost my voice for just that quick second. Sorry about that. Okay, fam, let's talk, right? About energy. So today we're talking about control and controlling your energy. So believe it or not, you absolutely have control over your energy, how you feel. It's a choice. We never think about that, but it's a choice. First of all, energy, that's movement. That's how you moving. That's how you feeling. That's how you're carrying yourself about. I remember when I was working, there was a woman that her office was right next door to mine, and right before the school year was over with, she had said to me, your energy, you just have just the best energy. And I didn't quite know how to take that. I didn't know if she meant I was energetic or if she meant just the feeling that she feels that's kind of transferred from me to her. And as we talked a little bit more, she explained that it's the calm that is within you. It's the same calm that I feel when I come in the room and you have the students in here that you're working with, and you're working with them in a small group and you're trying to encourage them. You all are having a good time. You're having fun. It's not quiet in here, but it's still so calm. You're having a good time and it's still calm. It's that good energy. That's what I'm talking about. That same thing, because energy can be positive. It can be negative. It could be kind of neutral. When I was going through my beginning stages of grief, I felt like my energy was just kind of neutral. Although it may not have been, it may have been less than that to some. But I felt like it was neutral. I felt like it was just stagnant. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. I was just there. I was just breathing. I was still there, but no particular direction. Right. So, however your energy is, whether it's, good, bad, or indifferent, I guess I could say, for lack of better words, you have control over that. You have control whether or not you stay in that space, whether or not you move into a different space, because you know the things that make you happy. Hopefully you do. And if you don't, I would encourage you to figure that thing out. Do some research on that. Start experimenting and doing some different things and see what puts you in that place of happiness. See what gives you joy. See what has you thinking about it all the time. That's what I experienced with skating. I was just thinking about it all the time. I was on Instagram and, just different sites, just watching people skate. YouTube, I was doing that for hours at a time. And I actually ended up, not that I didn't know how to skate at all, but I ended up teaching myself, like leveling up on my own, because I was that interested. I just kept doing it over and over again until I taught myself. But that's because that's how it made me feel. It just kind of gave me that positive energy that I wanted. It made me feel good. So I know that whenever I consider what my energy is going to be like after certain encounters, I know sometimes I do psych myself up. Sometimes I even run from it. I know that there's a certain individual that currently, right now, thinks that I'm not in a good place with them. And it's not bad. And I hate to keep saying these things because it feels like I'm at odds with everybody, because on every episode it seems like I'm saying that, I do this or I do that. But this is a different individual that goes way back, probably the furthest back anybody that I know. They'll just send a text every now and then. She'll just send a text every now and then, and just, miss you, all of that. And I do respond. And I respond because, yeah, she's worth it. She's absolutely worth it. But I also know that whenever I am off the phone with her, my energy definitely changes. And because, for whatever reason, I just kind of don't have the kind of control that I want when I encounter conversations with her, I'm just not ready to have them yet. And I don't feel bad for it. I just had to accept the fact that, yeah, when I'm speaking with this individual, when I'm talking to this individual, yeah, my energy does kind of shift, and it shifts to an old space and place where I'm just kind of being real judgmental. And people who judge everyone. Nobody gets a break. Nobody is safe. So if you have that friend that you like to hang with, you love hanging with this person, they make you laugh, and they're always clowning somebody else, trust and believe they're clowning you too when you are not around. Because people who judge all the time judge everybody. Nobody gets a break. Nobody. So, yeah, I just didn't want to be in that space. I want to be able to take things in and just kind of accept people for who they are and not judge them and say, no, no, no about certain people and yes, yes, yes about others. I just want to be able to accept. Yes, yes, yes kind of has to do with whether or not I'm willing to put in time with them. But the energy itself, yeah, that energy is up to you. You control it because you can bump it up, you can leave it where it is, or you can lower it. The hardest situation I've ever had to deal with, of course, was being without my son. Absolutely. Now I can choose to remain in a space that won't allow me to receive. A closed heart just won't allow me to receive, won't allow me to let people help me, to let people interact with me. I could stay in that space. I choose not to. I could also drink a lot. I could, get high. I could do all kinds of things. I choose not to because I choose to feel. I choose to feel, and I choose to understand my feelings, and I choose to understand me. And if you have an understanding of yourself, you can finesse that energy to whatever it is you want by making choices of who you interact with and to the level in which you interact. You make choices on the things that you want to do that bring you joy. You make choices, period. That's how you control your energy. And I know for me, controlling my energy is the biggest part because controlling my energy, yeah, that's what's going to get me through the day. My husband needs to exercise in the morning. That's his mood regulator. If he doesn't have that exercise, it's probably going to be a long, arduous day for him because that's what he needs. He needs to exercise. I need to be able to stretch. I need to be able to get up and do my regular rituals. I need to go to my son's altar. I need to spend some time there. And I've since built an altar for my father. So I have to go there. I don't have to, but the days that I reflect on that I've had the most energy and felt the best, I've gone to the altar and I've spent time there and I've released there. And in return, I've gotten that energy boost that I needed, that I looked for. It used to be I would go to yoga for that, to feel good, to get that boost. It's changed now. Now I need a little more energy. I'm older, but I still need a little more energy to get me that boost that I need. And that's something everybody needs to consider. So sharing, I always like to share out, right? So most recently, I had my girl who is right now taking care of someone that just recently received a transplant. And that requires a lot of work. I don't even know how she does it, really, honestly. But she's a trooper. She's a fighter. So everything that has to be done is done by her. The smallest task to the most involved tasks. It is all done by her, right? And she does an incredible job, cooking, cleaning, appointments, um, making sure things are settled as far as um, paperwork, documentation. She does every bit of it, 100% of it, all herself. And she got some news that was just, it was scary. She got some scary news, she's texting, and the three of us, we get together and we, reach out to each other daily. And the information was coming through. This news was heavy, it was going to require, another layer. And I had been working all day, working on the things that I needed to do for my program. And I was tapped out. I skimmed over the text message and I just so happened to respond in a way that was just not, it just wasn't, it just wasn't kind. It wasn't empathetic. It was just very bottom line. And it was dry, to say the very least. Needless to say, I did not read the text fully. And I was just kind of rushing and just kind of demanding of myself to answer, to say something to her. Well, because of the space that I was in, I didn't respond with my best self. I just didn't. And I didn't think anything of it. And it was a few days before she even said anything about it. She held on to it. And then finally, we all get together and we have this conversation, and she's just like, I just had to step out for a little bit because, yeah, I just didn't like what you said. I didn't know what she was talking about. I seriously didn't. Well, she broke it down and told me what I'd said. And I was like, yeah, I did say that, but, and I still didn't catch it. She had to break it down a little bit more for me. Went back, read the text fully, and then it was just like, ooh, okay, yeah, that wasn't that wasn't the best. Yeah, that wasn't the best response. And it wasn't just that. There was even another piece where it was just like I did not realize what I was doing or what I was saying. And I try to pride myself in being, empathetic and being sensitive to people and things of that nature. And when I don't, I'm not real quick to admit that. But because the three of us care so much about each other and because we're so careful with each other's feelings, it literally took that third person to say, do you understand that? And when that tone came out, it was just like, okay, wait a minute, and I had to understand those things. And I had to apologize for that because at that point, it didn't really matter what I thought. She was in a space where she was just reaching out to share. And I didn't receive it. And I didn't hold her heart. I didn't do the thing that I should have done that I, generally do when we need each other that way. And she had to control her energy. What she said was, I had to step out for a little bit. And she said much more than that. I'm not going to tell you what else she said because I deserved every bit of it. But she said I had to step out for a little bit. And she had to step out because of the way I responded. And though I didn't feel like I was being nasty, once I reset and once I got myself back together after, working on some things for a long time, being in my office and, working for like 12 hours on one particular project. And I was tapped out and I really didn't have it to give. And I tried to give it anyway. And when I tried to give it, it was nasty. It wasn't good. She could have very well gone back and forth with me, back and forth, back and forth. And when someone is on E, and I've said this before, when someone is on E, when you are on E, when I was on E, I should have stopped driving. When you're on E, stop driving. You just don't have any more to give. And let it be that. Those that are looking for you, they will understand whenever you fill back up. They will understand that I just did not have it. I had to take a break. Had to get a good night's sleep. Had to reset. Because that's what had to happen to me. And I hurt someone's feelings that I care very much about because I was on E. And I'm grateful for her. And I'm thankful that she chose to control her energy, because she could have very well just called me and just went in. Like, what are you talking about? Are you really going to say that? There are all sorts of things that she could have done. But because she was in control and she was controlling her energy, she said, you know what? I'm going to step out because I need to make sure that I am being my best self, the best I can give right now. And that's exactly what she did. And that's what I mean by controlling your energy. You see it when it's coming your way and when it's just not looking like it's going to be a positive exchange. And you can do one of two things. You can jump on in it or you can jump on out of it. Either way, you are in control. I just watched a video with I'm not even going to mention his name. His name doesn't bear mentioning, because I just don't have that kind of respect for him. But I watched Cam Newton's podcast with him. This particular guest had him on there, and the guy, he really thought he was talking some, he really thought things that he said were really, he thought he was really speaking some knowledge. And I thought I didn't think so. I really and truly didn't think so. But instead of getting angry about it, because his views were really, they were wild. They were wild, and I don't like it when people make blanket statements about Black folks. I don't like that. Because our situations are complex and they're layered. And when you make these blanket statements, you have to know what you're talking about. Not only do you have to know what you're talking about, you have to communicate it in a way that's at least decent. Don't have to be perfect, but at least decent. And he didn't do that. I thought about the things that he was saying. And I can't excuse that man for anything that he was saying, anything that he did say. But I did say to myself, I'm going to just step out of here. Because actually, my daughter and I were watching it together. I'm going to just step out of here because this is not going to work for me. This is not going to work for me. Because I know that I'm going to engage in a conversation with you. You're going to defend him. I'm going to defend other things. And it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. I just want to have a good time with my daughter. So these other things that could come about, yeah, we can attack those in different ways, maybe in tiny pieces, but we're not going to just come at it in this way, because that's going to take us somewhere else. And if I'm going to control my energy, I'm going to have to make sure that I'm careful about what I engage in. I'm going to have to be careful and make sure that I do certain things that I truly, truly enjoy doing. Because I was already a little, out of sorts. I already, had an allergic reaction. So my eyes are pretty much swollen closed right now. They're starting to come out. But I'm not feeling good already because I really can't drive because I can't see out of the side. I have no peripheral vision. So I have to control my energy the best way I can. Vision isn't all that great, but I could still skate. So I went outside, threw my skates on, I went skating for a little while. I couldn't skate for very long because, like I said, my eyes, I can't see out of them very well because I'm still dealing with that allergic reaction. But I knew I had to control my energy. I knew I had to get outside. I knew I had to skate. Now, I'm not going to be able to go to a skating rink, which I happen to love the skating rink by my daughter's house, but I'm not going to be able to go because of my issue with my eyes. I can't see well enough to be around a lot of people and to possibly have to, you know, get out of somebody's way, make a quick turn or something like that. You know, it's just dangerous when you really can't see to be skating. You know, when people, you know, come by skating kind of fast, they spinning, they doing all kinds of tricks and things like that. And then you want to try and do little tricks and things, and you learn different things. So you got to be real careful. Well, in order to control my energy, I'm going to have to get my skating in the best way I can, which meant good 30 minutes in, you know, around her complex. And that was nice. That was nice. And believe it or not, by the time I came back in the house, yeah, some of the swelling had gone down. I couldn't believe that. But it's part of controlling my energy, and it made me feel good. And now I'm, you know, just kind of sitting outside and watching people come and go and feeling this beautiful breeze. Why? Because I'm controlling my energy. I'm choosing to feel good regardless of what's going on with my eyes and my face, because they are itching, not as badly as they were. But yeah, I'm definitely still having that reaction, and I can't come and go like I want, but I choose to still enjoy the day, and I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow. I'm hoping when I wake up, the swelling will be just that much less. We shall see. Either way, I know what I'm going to do. Either way, I am going to control my energy and do some things that make me feel good. And that might mean getting dropped off to get a pedicure. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. It might mean going to one of my favorite restaurants around here. Who knows? But I'm going to do it because I'm going to control my energy. I'm going to journal, and I'm still going to feel good about what I have, about the things that I'm doing, and just be positive about it. I'm going to control my energy, much like my friend did when she said, I got to step out because I'm not engaging in that. Yeah. And then she came back in when it was less heavy on her heart, and we broke it all down. I apologized. She received it, and everything was the way it should be. And as my mother used to tell me, and as I tell people now, any strong relationship, friendship that you have will sustain the bumps because they're going to come. And if that relationship is worth having, it'll survive it. Not one, not two, not 10, every time. It'll survive it. So,
So you know what? I guess it was just time for me to go ahead and gracefully bow out before I was so rudely interrupted. But it's all good because, like I said, I'm controlling my what? My energy, my puffy-eyed energy. Yes, I'm doing just that. That concludes my episode, though. I had gotten out everything that I wanted to say, and it's all good. So, yeah, control your energy. As long as you can keep those 3 points in mind, control your information, control your time, control your energy, you got no problems. You got none. Think of it as just hurdles that you have to get over, and you will get over them, no matter how high they may seem. Control your time, control your information, control your energy, whatever order, because I just said them out of order, but it's all right. Yeah. Control your information, your time, and your energy, and everything else falls into place. Okay? That's all I got. I'll see y'all next week. And yeah, we'll tackle the next situation. So until then, y'all be good. Control. It's a thing. It's a thing. Talk to you later. Jody, a Forever Voice. Bye bye.